Hey,
I got distracted because the music was very loud when it started. What is up, Cahir Club? And welcome back to another CahirLIVE live stream. How goes it? I hope everybody's had a great start to their week. Hello, my voice broke last year. We got so many shinies during the intro scene. In fact, I did get a shiny the other day. But you'll have to watch Friday's YouTube short to know more about it. You'll have to keep a close eye on Friday's YouTube short, because that'll be when all is revealed. I might have actually talked about it on stream when I first recorded. No, wait, no, I don't think... Wait, no, I must have done it Saturday. I think I did talk about it on stream, actually. Oh, well. But yeah, today we are back with our Croagunk shiny hunt. Obviously, I'm looking for a whole box of Shiny Croagunk, so I'm going to be doing more Croagunk shiny hunting today. We're going to be back in Sword and Shield, doing more Sword and Shield shiny hunting, because Sword and Shield shiny hunting is very cool. My special counting thing, I forgot to set that up. I believe we're like at 100-ish for that Croagunk. 200? That's more than I was expecting. That's crazy. Counter, first counter. There we go. There we go. Already. All sorted. All ready for some more shiny hunting. In fact, do you remember Jonathan Jr.? My voice broke glass. Perchance. Do your brain cells whisper of Jonathan Jr.? Right. Let's bonk this Croagunk into the bonks. Plural. Rob, hello, how goes it? I hope... Oh yeah, no, it went into the wrong box. I hope that your week has gotten off to a good start. I managed to put it back into the wrong box. I don't even know what series of button presses I managed to do that. Brain cells, what are those? Oh no. Don't tell me you forgot your son, my voice broke glass. Don't tell me you forgot about your own son. Your own child. Your own offspring. You didn't, did you? There's another Gunky boy, Gunky boy. I'm glad that I'm fucking up Gala's ecosystem with all these Croagunk. You know? There's not really a better Pokemon to fuck up the ecosystem with than Croagunk. You know about here, how's things your end? Yeah, no, they're pretty decent. Except for the part where I had a new idea for a series. Started working on it. And then, like, for some reason the program just wouldn't save all the changes I'd made. So, like, all my work was for nothing. Just all pointless. So that's great. I'm gonna have to redo that at some point. Cause, I don't know, I think I might do I think on Wednesday I'm gonna start a new series. Because I'm kinda pissed. Apparently, Twitch has been muting my Professor Layton VODs. I don't know why. I don't know why Twitch has deemed Professor Layton music illegal. But it has. It's fine on YouTube. I've not got any copyright claims on YouTube yet. Maybe I will. Maybe that will happen. But Twitch is instant. It's already muted. And I don't really know what to do about that. Unlike... I don't know if there are workarounds. Yeah, I don't know if there are workarounds, but, I'm just wondering how worth it is for the Professor Layton series. Because, bluntly put, it seems nobody cares about the Professor Layton series. I hate to say it. Well, not nobody. It's on the lesser cared about end of the spectrum, is what I mean. I've dabbled in variety, and at the moment, I don't think I should dabble in variety. Unless I come up with a great idea for variety, I'm not sure I'm going to dabble in variety again anytime soon. Math hurts your one brain ball that remains. Brain ball? Brain ball? Is your brain a ball? Is this what I'm getting? You have a brain ball? But yeah, no, I'm vaguely salted at that fiasco. Yeah, it's so smooth it's a bull. Oh, that's impressive. That's even smoother than, like, koalas. I hate koalas. Stupid ass fucking dumb. Anyway. But yeah, I've got new ideas on the horizon. I don't know how they're gonna do. Yeah. But I've got funny ideas. And I'm hoping they are received well. Alright. But, unless things continue to go wrong, that'll start on Wednesday. But, I don't. No guarantees I'm gonna get it to work. Bluntly put. Alright. At least my gunks are still here. My many Croagunks. They're all still by my side. Sniffing in my ear. Do they have noses? Do frogs have noses? I was gonna say I know they have buttholes, which is a weird... no, that's definitely a nose. I was gonna say I know they have buttholes, which is a weird thing to say, but I'm not sure if you guys have seen that video where it's like, watch my frog fart, and like, it's actually a stitch. Some guy stitched the video, and like, it's a solid 5 seconds of like frog butt, and you kind of lock into its arsehole. You know, you're just staring at that thing, just fucking harsh eye contact, unblinking. You don't want to miss it. And then this guy comes in and interrupts and is like, I bet you're really fucking focused on that frog's arsehole. I know you were, because I am. Because I was. I'm not stared at something harder. And like, he was right. I was locked in. I was locked in on that frog's butt. But the truth of the matter is he edged me. Oh no. Man, those buttholes, am I right? Real. You're not sure you've seen it. I'll try to find it at some point, but it's a good video. I've kind of spoiled the punchline now, you know? But, I think sometimes a thing being spoiled can make you more on the edge of your seat and ready for it, you know? To make you more excited at the prospect of it. Not sure if this is one of those situations, but it might be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, we're at 208. We are at 208. Because 210 is a multiple of 30, which is how many Pokemon go into a box. So, once we have that box full, it'll need to be a multiple of 30, which 210 is. At 240, we will need to release all of the eggs. We will need to take all of the Croagunk, pick them up and release them into the wild. Like a, like, a swarm of locusts. Maybe I should release them in, like, a public area, just to kind of prove a point. You know? Just sit down in one of the many Galarian cities and, like, release all of my Croagunk. Arguably immoral. Pretty sure it's illegal. I wonder, like... I don't know, it's one of those things where you think. And then you, like... I need to get my thoughts out. I was gonna say, I wonder if it's illegal to release Pokemon in, like, populated spaces in the Pokemon world. It's not, you can do it anywhere in the games. But, like, logistically, would it be? You know? Like, we've not seen any real evidence of it being against the law to release your Pokemon wherever. In fact, I'd say we have evidence to the contrary, considering how many Pokemon Ash has picked up off the streets, specifically. You know? Like, was his Litten owned by a person first? Not sure. His Tepig was, and it was in the middle of a city. That Gengar was just in the middle of a city. I think a couple of his Gen 1 Mons were... It's interesting, like, a solid portion of Ash's Pokemon were, like, rehoned in that kind of way. Like, Paul's was just at the back of a stadium. That was in a forest, though, you know? Paul's Chimchar was, at the back of a stadium, not, like, in the middle of nowhere. You know, like, a solid portion of Ash's Pokemon were just, like, rescue Pokemon, basically. Pokemon, like, other trainers had just gotten rid of. Which I respect. But, my bigger point is... It's interesting how, like, Liko, Roy, and Dot, none of their Pokemon are rescues yet. To be fair, each of them only have, like, one Pokemon other than their starter so far. I guess we also don't know the full context behind Fuecoco and Quaxley as well. Like, Sprigatito was, like, from a reputable breeder, because Sprigatito was, like, a school starter. That's a thought. I guess they could kind of deepen the lore of Quaxley and Fuecoco by kind of implying that they had old trainers. There's, like, nothing that they could really do to not... There's no reason they couldn't do that. Because, like, both Fuecoco and Quaxley were on the Rising Voltaccla's airship. So, like, logistically, there is no reason that my brain should work. No, there's no reason that, like, they couldn't have had previous trainers been released, hopped onto the Rising Voltaccla ship, and gone from there. I just put one of the eggs in the box instead of one of the Croagunks. Which isn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to put one of the Croagunks in the box instead of the egg, because the Croagunks, they go into the box. Alright. But yeah, it'll be cool to see when, like, they do finally find their first just abandoned Pokemon that they then capture. Alright. I think it's interesting how there's, like, been a big shift in how the anime treats the Pokemon caught by trainers. Because, like, I find it interesting. Starly in Sinnoh, for example, Ash just fucking lobs a ball at that thing and catches it. I guess that's the only real example in Sinnoh of that happening. Which came first, the egg or the egg in a box? The grand mystery no one can solve. It was the egg in the box that came first. Because that was laid first. Yeah. This is a... I hate to say it, Rob. This mystery is an open and shut case. I appreciate the attempt to get philosophical here. You know? This case is, however, not... I said no one can solve... I apologize, you're right. Unless this is like a personal slight. Implying my... You know, never mind. But yeah, like, I'll be interested to see how the teams of the protagonists kind of evolve. I'm guessing very soon, someone's going to capture a new Pokemon in Paldea. During the Terrestrial course. I feel like each of the main team members are going to capture a new Pokemon. I'm sure by the end of the Terrestrial course, at the end of this arc, every member of, like, the core trio, which I guess they've now cemented themselves as a trio at this point, of Liko, Roy, and Dot, I'm assuming they're all going to have caught one more Pokemon. Well, now I think about it, Liko's the only person who's caught a Pokemon outside of Paldea. So I'm pretty sure Dot's Tinkertink is Paldean. I think they just arrived in Paldea when Dot caught it. Then Liko's Hatena was caught from Galar. But Roy caught his Watchroll by Lavencia. So Liko's the only member of that core trio with a non-Paldean Pokemon who's also not from Paldea. My phrasing of that's confusing, but technically Terapagos is counted as her Pokemon as well. Like, I hope she catches Terapagos. But I could also feel that Terapagos might just be, like, the very end of the road capture. I guess it'll be interesting to see how the anime runs in considering... What's it called? If we get Gen 10 next year or not. Cuddly Lily, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. I'm looking for Croagunk today, a shiny Croagunk, to add to my collection. I've got maybe like 8, 9? I've got a bunch of Croagunk. I must get more. It is my duty. My sole purpose in life. I will have a lot of shiny Croagunks, and it will be great. Good luck. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, you find any shinies lately? Alright. Yeah, about 21 more in the box, and then we will have to commit some environmental terrorism, I believe it's called when you do stuff like that. Just releasing a bunch of animals into, like, an area, you know? Just releasing, like, just a shitload of animals into an area, and I'm pretty sure that is maybe environmental terrorism. Shiny Lycanroc randomly. Yo, which form? I believe that you will obtain all the gunk. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. I will. I'm like... the... No, I'll come up with an analogy. I'm the Paul Atreides of Croagunk. That's what I'll go with. The baby, the preform. Oh, Rockruff. I love Rockruff. I've always wanted to use one in a playthrough, but I don't think I've gotten around to it yet. But I have a shiny Midday Lycanroc, which is very cool. What was I looking for? Maybe none of them. Yeah, no, Rockruff's definitely one of my favorite little guys of Alola. But I feel like Rockruff was like kind of meant to be the kind of Alolan poster child. I feel like some regions, they specifically make a Pokemon to be like the Pokemon of that region. And you can kind of tell. Like, so yeah, Rockruff is Alola's. Zora is Unova's. Those Lucario and Riolu are Sinnoh's. I don't think every gen has one. I'm trying to think of Gen 8s and Gen 9s. I'm not sure if they have, like, poster child Pokemon. The Pokemon of the generation. Might just be forgetting. Because, like, they've certainly got, like, dog Pokemon, you know? Like, they've got, Fido, they've got, Gen 9 is, like, a bazillion dog Pokemon. It's got Fido, Greavard, and, Mastiff. Like, I wonder if they're just going to do none next gen. We have had at least a dog Pokemon a gen. I think the only generation that had no dog Pokemon at all was Sinnoh. Let me check, because I did a YouTube short on them recently. Yeah, so Gen 1 has Growlithe. Growlithe's the only one I counted from Gen 1. Gen 2 has Snubbull and Houndour. Gen 3 has Poochyena and Electrike. Gen 4 has none. Gen 5 has a Leap Up. Gen 6 has Furfrou. Gen 7 has Rockruff. Gen 8 has Yamper. Arguably Zacian and Zamazenta, but I'd count them more under Wolves. And then Gen 9, just... there are 8 prior. Like, almost adds 50% to that number with, like, 3 more dog Pokemon in Fido, Mastiff, and Greavard. I don't know why they decided to just be like, yeah, 3 more dogs this generation. I guess maybe, like, there's no real way of knowing how, there's no real way of, like, knowing how Pokemon are designed. You have to wonder if it's done, like, independently. People design Pokemon and then bring them to the table and, like, this is the Pokemon I designed. And then they're either, like, been like, yes, that's good. Or, change this, you know? Or, I'm not really sure it has the Pokemon vibe, you know? But, like, I could imagine, like, 3 separate people making, like, a dog Pokemon. And the director's been like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And then entirely blanking on the fact that they've just greenlit 3 separate dog Pokemon for the same generation. To be fair, there are, like, other generations with multiple dog Pokemon. That being 2 and 3. 2 stage, 2 stage, 2 stage, 2 stage, 2 stage, 3 stage, 1 stage, 2 stage, 2 stage. Most dog Pokemon are 2-stage evolutions. Maybe this is just a general trend I'm not noting. I'm not, like, considering. I guess most Pokemon are 2-stage evolutions, right? That's kind of, like, the thing. Where, like, 2 stage is the most common, 1 stage is pretty rare, and 3 stage is, like, the rarest. Which I guess is fair. trying to think like what early game 3-stage mons there are. Because there's always the bug. The bug's always a 3-stage mon. Except in Sinnoh and Johto, actually. Sinnoh and Johto are exceptions. Oh, and Paldea, actually. Sinnoh... the bird as well. Except in Hoenn. And in Paldea, technically. But, like... Paldea's bird isn't early. They give you Fletchling instead. The Pikachu clone ends up being 3-stage instead, though. They give you Pawmi pretty early. And that's a 3-stage. They also give you Flamigo pretty early. And that's just a 1-stage. Just a powerful 1-stage. They're like, here you go. Johto 2. That's a good point. That's a good point. Noctowl. It's kind of funny that the 3-stage flying type only became, like, a solidified thing in Gen 4. Because in Gen 1, it was Pidgey. In Gen 2, Pidgey was still there, but they added in Noctowl. Gen 3, they added in Tailo, which had Swellow only. And it was only in Gen 4 where they were like, this is Starly, this is, like, Pidgey again. And then from there, it became, like, a repeated trend of a 3-stage bird Pokemon. Sinnoh's early game also had, Shinx in it. Unova's had... that one guy. Unova's had Lillipup. Trying to think of new 3-stage Pokemon introduced. Not just like any 3-stage Pokemon, like new 3-stage Pokemon. Because yeah, Paldea had Pawmi. Because stuff like Fido and Wiglet are only 2-stage. And then Gen 8? Gen 8 has Nickit and Shootle, and those are only 2-stage. Does Gala Zigzagoon appear on Route 2 in Gala? They should make a 3-stage, like, normal rodent creature. I think that would be cool. Just kind of, like, shift it around a bit. Because we always have, like, the 2-stage normal creature that's introduced in the generation. The Rattata, the Sentret, the Zigzagoon, the Bidoof, the Patrat. Just like, it's kind of like that in Gen 5. You could argue it's like that in Gen 5 with Lillipup. You could make a good argument that Gen 5 is like that because of Lillipup. But Lillipup isn't it, you know? Lillipup clearly isn't it. Lillipup's like the Poochyena or the Shinx of the generation, which is like another early game Pokemon they give you often. Although, Purloin's also kind of that. But they kind of had to give you Purloin because they weren't going to give you Pidove. I just put my Talonflame in the box. I just shelved my Talonflame. I now have a team of 2 level 1 Croagunk, which you could argue is functional. I don't think you'd win that argument, however. But yeah, I think they kind of had to give you like a bunch of Pokemon in Gen 5, like a bunch of Pokemon like that in Gen 5, specifically because of the first gym. Like, the first gym kind of pigeonholed them into doing that. Because, they deliberately wanted you to only fight the gym with your starter, and the Evolutionary Monkey as the only Pokemon that interact with the gym leader's Pokemon in a type way. Which is why Pidove and Venipede and Sawaddle all only appear in the next few routes. And Blitzel as well. And rock types. Obviously there's like no cave for a bit. There's no cave for quite a bit in Kalos as well. For unrelated reasons. I just find it interesting to see, like, the pacing of regions. Like, at what point do they introduce specific concepts to you, you know? Like, Paldea is funny, because it more or less immediately introduces a cave to you. Like, the starting section is a cave. Which is intriguing, I guess? Especially considering, like, there aren't that many other dungeons similar in Paldea, you know? To that initial cave. Gen 8 doesn't have a cave. It has the wild area, which is full of, like, a bunch of type-themed areas, basically. Like, there's that watchtower, which is, like, the ghostly area. You go down to that rock and you find, like, a lot more, like, rock and fighting types and stuff. The big one over there. Like, in that direction. Gen 7... The Trial is the first, like, proper dungeon you interact with. There is the Graveyard. You can get ghost types pretty early on. Which, to be fair, is pretty useful for that first Trial. But yeah, you can get ghost types pretty early on, from the Graveyard. But, like, the first proper dungeon in Alola is that... is Gumshoes' cave. But to be fair, it follows that up pretty quickly with, like, the Sea Cave. I feel like Alola's pretty good with dungeons. Because, like, Alola as a region is pretty compact. So, like, some good dungeons really help flesh it out more. Like, as the Flower Meadow that leads into the cave. And then on Akala... it has Diglett's Tunnel, and then it has that, like, water trial area with all the water. Then it has the volcano. Then it has Lush Cave, which I'm pretty not Lush Cave, Lush Jungle. I think in Minecraft it has the Lush Jungle. I'm gonna stop going through Alola. I love Alola, but yeah. It's got a decent chunk of dungeons, is my point. Kalos... I think Kalos gets better with dungeons as it goes along. There's, like, Glittering Cave, is it? That first cave that's basically just, like, a showcase, like, ooh, we're in 3D now, where they put the camera behind you. But, like, that and the area before it aren't the first cave. There's Zubat's Roost. I forgot about Zubat's Roost. Silly me. The first, like, dungeon is, Santaloon. Santaloon Forest, which is just Viridian Forest, but again. Which is a degree of interesting. And it's interesting because that's the first proper area you go into in X and Y as well. Because Route 1 in X and Y is like a path. It's a straight line. There's nothing interesting there. And then after Aquacord Town, I think it is, there's like a smaller route. But that's more or less like 3 stones tosses before you get to Santaloon Forest. And then there's, like, a bit of an actual route after Santaloon, but, like, Santaloon's the first proper area you visit. Gen 5's pretty dungeon-light as well, to be fair, until after the first gym. Black and White 2 it's not, actually, because Flocesi Ranch is, like, a dungeony area that you get to go to. But Black and White, the first ones... You do go to the Dream Yard, but you don't catch anything in the Dream Yard. It's basically just a glorified fighting area. And it's in the, like, Wellspring Cave and the Dream Yard after the first gym that, like, you actually get to see a variety of Pokemon. Which is at least an interesting way of doing it. Again, I put Talonflame in the box again. Again, like, it was specifically, like, made like that. It had to be made like that for the first gym to work. Which is probably why they haven't revisited an idea like it since. Because, like, oh, 2 more gunks and then it's time to, release them. Any votes on, like, the settlement I should release all these poisonous frogs in? Or... But yeah, no, I don't know. Region structure intrigues me. It's a thing I'm constantly thinking about in, like, Pokemon games. Because, like... It begs the question, like, how are you going to... be introducing this world to people, you know? And I guess Paldea ends up standing out a bit, because of how quickly it shunts you into a cave. Which is especially interesting considering, should stick him all in Motorstoke. That's a good vote, that's a good vote. I'll do it on Motorstoke High Street. Hate that city name? Yeah? I don't know, I think it's alright. Are you going to get an egg for me? Nope, I'm gonna hatch one first, okay. Alright. But yeah, it's interesting how Paldea's, like, first thing is a cave. And considering it's meant to be, like, an open world game, the first, like, thing it introduces you to being a cave is a very interesting decision at the least. I'm now realizing, I guess maybe this is, I don't really know if it's the same in America, actually. I was just thinking how, like, Motostoke kind of has a proper high street, and, like, a lot of towns and cities in England are kind of structured in that way where there's, like, a main high street where everything is. But I guess it'd be a bit weird to... a bit American to assume the rest of the world doesn't work like that. I don't know, I'm only saying that because of, like... Sometimes I, like, say things and then I realize, like... Yeah, this is just Twitter discourse I'm talking about. This is just, like, funny arguments I saw on that, on the Musk app. Which is true, it was a funny argument I saw on the Musk app. Like, what was it called? No, I'll get there. An American was acting like American school was, like, a particular, like, trial to get through. But everything they said was, like, more or less the exact same as, like, most other places in the world. They were like, oh yeah, we had to, like, get up at 7. It's like, yeah, it's pretty regular. Oh, but we had to, like, get up earlier to get into school. It's like, yeah. Yeah, no, that's how that works. Like, I think school is pretty similar. I think the main difference between school in America and everywhere else is that America doesn't have a uniform. I think a lot of places in Europe don't have uniforms, but like... A lot of places do. That's like the main difference. Alright. So I went to Lou. I think most places in England do at least have that main high street, I think. They do, definitely, they do. Like, I ain't backing down on that. But, like, I'm unsure if that's like a... Oh, England does this crazy thing, and it's like, yeah, mate. Good job, Cahir. Most places do that. I don't know if it's like that kind of beat, you know? I don't know if it's a moot observation that isn't applicable to only England, hence the detour. Yeah, I'll use that word. That word works fine. Alright. I was gonna say, this is the final gunk box. And then we can get back to the gunk hunt. Yippee. Okay. No, I keep doing it wrong. Alright. But yeah, I beat Xenoblade on Saturday, which is cool. I think I'm going to go back to it to do some of the other side quests and stuff I skipped. Because, like, I went to the final boss earlier than I was intending to. Because I realized I got to level 70. And, like, that won't do. The final boss is level 70. If I go in too over-leveled, then I'll cheese it. And that wouldn't be fun at all, would it? I managed to lose the first time. Because he had this one attack that, like, one-shot my other two party members. And then I had to revive them. And then he used, like, this giant super-duper kill-everything attack. Which you're meant to avoid with the chain attack. But to do a chain attack, you need a full party gauge. And you use up party gauge to heal people, so I couldn't rebuild up that party gauge in time. I'm not sure it's all... if it's all across the world, but America, they have a equivalent called Main Street. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, I recognize that term, actually. I mean, it seems like a pretty logical thing to be like, okay, most of the shops and restaurants of this town should be here, on this road. Seems like a pretty easy thing to happen without planning. Even without planning. Because, like, if, like, a couple of shops open up on, like, one place, other shops would be like, oh, we should open up there as well. Yeah, it's funny, because the second time I didn't even use a chain attack. I was going to, but I accidentally killed him before I could use the chain attack. I was excited to, like, lay into him with, like, this massive combo, but no, I didn't do that. I killed him first, by accident. Jin went a lot better than my first playthrough, though. Like, I got stuck, hella stuck on Jin the first time I played, and had to, like, go on a huge detour doing loads of side quests and shit. Well, GG on completing it. Have you played 3? I have not even played 1, I'll be honest. I understand that Xenoblade 1 is meant to be, like, peak, but I have not played it. I've only played 2. I want to play the other 2. I have heard good things. You really enjoyed 1, yeah. No, I understand the general gist is 1 is like a lot of people's favorite. A lot of people seem to really dislike 2. I have a nice soft spot for it though. I'm a massive fan of 2. Like, I get people's issues with it. But, I think at the least it's, what's it called? Oh. I was trying to get a new egg, but I guess not. Did I heat any puzzles? No, they're all really cold. All the puzzles are freezing cold. I put my hand on the puzzle, I'm like, whoa, that's a bit chilly. You know? But yeah, like, I'm not sure how firmly I'd recommend Xenoblade 2 to anyone. Did I call any puzzles? Yeah, no, I called those and then I put them in the fridge. I made sure to do it while they were nice and hot, because that's how you're meant to put things in the fridge. Remember, if you put things in the fridge when they're still warm, then they'll cool down quicker, because, like, the heat and the way the heat and the cold interacts. So it's really good advice to put hot things in the fridge. That's what you should definitely put hot things in the fridge. People are going to tell you, no, don't put hot things in the fridge. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand basic science. And that is, when thing is hot and you get cold thing with the hot thing will cool down real quick. Okay, if I've melted the fridge. No, you're meant to freeze the hot, not hot the freeze. You've mistaken my instructions. But yeah, I'm not sure if Xenoblade 2 is like a game I could easily recommend to people. I'd say like it's... While it's good and it's fun, I think it's convoluted. Not in like any like snobbish, oh, you just wouldn't get it way, you know? I think that's like a bit of like a uppity way of looking at it. But I understand that the combat system can be hard to get into because all of it's explained through dialogue boxes that open up at random parts of the game. Which... Not the best way of tutorializing. Like, they managed to make a horribly convoluted battle system, I'd say. And while I think... No, I'm lying. They didn't make a convoluted battle system. They kind of made the battles... They explained it convolutedly, you know? Like, the battle system's simple. You build up your specials with driver arts? Yeah, you build up your specials with driver arts. Make sure to use a driver art just after an attack has landed. It'll cancel the auto attack and charge the blade art quicker. The blade special quicker. And then you've got to use a level 1, 2, and 3 blade special in particular orders to lock orbs onto your opponents, which will lessen the amount of damage that element does. But if you get a bunch on them, then you can chain attack and crack those orbs for big damage. I think you'd enjoy Final Fantasy, to be honest, if you like Xenoblade. Maybe. I don't know, I've never, like... I'm aware I should probably try more JRPGs. I just not got around to it. Like, it's, I should play more video games. Not in, like... I should play more video games, but I should play less video games. Leviathan Squid, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. We're shiny hunting for Croagunk today. I want to get a whole box of shiny Croagunk. And I shall. But you find any shinies recently? But yeah, no, like, what I mean in the video game statement is, like... Okay, you should only play games you enjoy. Best advice ever. Yes. True. That... I'm trying to figure out, like... Yeah... Correct. But yeah, what I mean is, like... It's an ADHD thing, but, like, I just hyperfixate onto video games when I play them. That's just, like, how my brain and soul works. So I play a lot of video games, especially when one's a hyperfixation. But, like, I'm also pretty good at, like, having a very small pool of games that I hyperfixate on. Like, I'll do Minecraft about twice a year. Genshin Impact a couple times a year as well. Since I've started streaming Pokemon, since I've been streaming Pokemon, it's become less of, like, a hyperfixation sometimes, as much as, like, a just general bubbling under the surface type beat. You know, I'm gonna take a drink quickly. My throat is getting dry. Make sure you're all staying hydrated. A time like this probably would have been the funniest time for me to get the shiny, because what's it called? I would have got to spray out my water everywhere. Felix, hello, how goes it? I hope that your week's gotten off to a good start. We're shiny hunting for Croagunk today. I love Croagunk. I want to get a bunch. But you already know this. As someone who has ADHD and 500 hours on one specific video game, I have to say accurate. Are you gonna divulge this video game? But yeah, no, I definitely want to play more JRPGs. I just need to get around to it. God of War Ragnarok. Understandable. I've heard good things. I've heard very good things. Wonderful weather we're having, kinda. It is, isn't it? It is. It's been a lovely last couple of days. Yesterday I went to see the new Planet of the Apes movie with a friend. And, was like, whoa. It's a very nice day out. Glad I'm locking myself in a cinema. In a dark room for 3 hours. I also, like, bought my hoodie with me. Because, like, he lives in another town. So, I, like, went to other town. And, like, it seemed like a good idea when going out. But, like, halfway through, it's like, wow, I'm really hot. This might not have been a good idea. But then, like, by the end of the trip, it was, like, fine. Aim, hello, how goes it? I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. We're shiny hunting for Croagunk today. I'm looking for a whole box of shiny Croagunk. So I'm continuing on with my long-ass hunt. Yo, Aim is here, lol. He is, that's true, that's correct. Alright. What was I gonna say? You know, it was an interesting cinema experience. It ended up being a good one in the end, but, like, it almost wasn't. Because, what's it called? $258? Yep. This is Masuda. With the shiny charm. So, 510 are the odds. We got the last one, I think, under 100, so... We got pretty lucky last time. But yeah, no, cinema experience. We sat down, and then, like, toward the end of the trailers, like, a about 4 boys came in. And, like, they were talking very loudly through the trailers. And I could feel it in my bones. These guys are going to talk through the whole fucking movie, aren't they? You know? It was one of those points where, like, you know, that, they're going to be really fucking annoying. And, oh wow, they were whispering to themselves the whole fucking time. They kept on pulling out their phones and the light was distracting me. At one point, one of the cinema employees came in and, like, told them off for it. At one point, one of the kids got out this, like, tube of, like, sweets or something and just started fucking shaking it aggressively till his mates were like, don't fucking do that. Oh, but no, this was all within the first half hour of the film before they got up and left. Thankfully, these little shits just got bored and went. And I'm very grateful for that fact. Because, I mean, I could watch the rest of the movie in peace. And I did. I liked it. The friend I went with, he didn't like it. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Sneasel? Oh no. Is it easier to hunt in this game? Yeah, kinda. I don't know, like... What was it called? Is this guy still gonna be there? No, he's not. Like... Scarlet and Violet makes you stockpile eggs and then go and hatch them. You know, you have to, like... There's, like, 2 phases of a Scarlet Violet Masuda hunt. Phase 1 is stockpiling the eggs. Phase 2 is finding somewhere to, like, go in a circle to hatch all the eggs that you've gotten. In Sword and Shield, the eggs, like, generate as you hunt. Like, so more or less after you've hatched 1 egg, you can, like, do another. But, in reality, I'm specifically doing this in Sword and Shield, because I want there to be, like... I don't want all of my Shiny Croagunk to be from the same game. Like, I could just do it so that all of my Shiny Croagunk are from Scarlet Violet, and it would probably be a pretty easy thing. I'd be, like, well over halfway there by now, I'm sure. But I think that would be boring. I want to have a few Sword and Shield Croagunk. I think I'm going to get a BDSP Croagunk. I'm going to do that in the Safari Zone. Safari Week is coming up next month. So maybe I'll do that for that. I'll start looking for a Shiny Croagunk during Safari Week. But that's going to be a hard one. Think of how long it took me to get my Regice. And that's going to be like... For 1 Shiny I might not even catch, that might not even be a Croagunk. So... You might hunt Larvitar sometime. Larvitar is very cool. Alright, yeah, Scarlet and Violet. I got mine in, BDSP from radar chaining, but I think Scarlet and Violet are probably a better game to do it in. In the grand scheme of things. You play Violet, so you might do it in Swish? Okay, if you're going to do it in another game, then I would recommend doing it in BDSP, because again, you can do Pokeradar. And I think Pokeradar is a pretty fun, like, hunting method. It can be a bit aggravating when the chain break... Way! You love to see it! You love to see it! 264. Where's the shiny? It's the 3rd one down. Yahoo! As they say when you're Mario. Alright, I need to put... No, I need to put these 2 away. Let's get the final 2 eggs of this batch hatched. Are these the... No, these aren't. Bruga, hello! I hate to say it, you just missed it. We just got the Shiny Croagunk. Our second... It's our third Sword and Shield Croagunk. The first one was a while ago. I'm trying to find where my gunks are. We did... Yeah, Frogger. Because I put all of the Croagunk for this hunt somewhere. Because I think we still need to do the Premier Ball Croagunk. These aren't those. You were here longer? Chat was still loading when I hatched. Oh, nice! So you were here to see it. That's good. That's good. Alright. Kevin, does a Pokemon region based on Iraq sound like a good idea? I mean, I'm sure it'd be, like, an interesting region to, base a game in. But I'm guessing you are more talking about the political side of it. You missed it? You were playing, when the shiny happened. Oh, no, you looked away for 3 seconds. Alright, yeah, let's get some name suggestions. I'm going to... Yeah, let's get some name suggestions while I get the Premier Ball Croagunk set up. I'm not naming it... I don't like naming my Pokemon after viewers. I think there are more interesting names we can give Pokemon than the names of viewers. I have to swap the Pokemon out if I do that. Never mind. Alright. Let's get the Premier Ball Croagunk in. Name what? The Croagunk? My new Shiny Croagunk. I just got a Shiny. Alright. The Mienfoo that was also your son. That is a good point. No, I do it sometimes, but, like, especially shinies, I'd rather not. Damn it, Kermit. Do we already have a Kermit? I forget. You got to go. Goodbye, Aim. I hope you have a great rest of your day. That emo kid. Wait. I know it. I know what I'm naming it. I know what I'm naming the Croagunk. I've got it. I'm sure some people probably already have figured out what I'm going to name it, due to my general naming schemes. Alright. Emo Kermit. I don't need to name it. Rate another name. Okay. Emo Kermit the Croagunk, everybody. Let's get Emo Kermit into the box with Frogger. Okay, yeah, these are the two shiny Croagunk. The Pokeball and the Great Ball. The Ultra Ball is Mister, who is already in Scarlet and Violet. And now we're going to get the Premier Ball, and those will be our 4 Sword and Shield shinies. And I think after that, I will do a bunch of Scarlet Violet ones. May you make a recommendation for the next one? I'd recommend recommending at the time, because I will forget. Then here's my Zorora. My shiny one from home, that one event that they did a while back. Alright. I find it funny, the idea that shiny Zorora might be more common than regular Zorora. Just because regular Zorora, you actually had to, like, get an event code. Whereas shiny, they just gave away for free if you participated in what's it called? Stuff. Anyway, I'm going to hatch the rest of these eggs, release all the Croagunk, and then I will, what's it called? Start on the Premier Ball hunt. But 264 was the final total for our Great Ball Croagunk. Emo Kermit. I keep on, like, going to increment, which I don't really need to do at the moment. But I'm worried that my not incrementing these 3 eggs is going to break the habit of incrementing immediately after hatching an egg, which is going to not be great. It is 3, right? Is it 4? It might be 4. No, it's 3. Okay. 1 more egg to hatch, and then we can start releasing. I'd rather start from a fresh box, just because it's easier in the grand scheme of things. We've had 2 very lucky hatches, though. I know that, I believe I got... So I started doing the Sword and Shield hatches, and I got that Croagunk in that first stream. The Pokeball Croagunk in that first stream. I got it, like, at 100-ish, I think? I think... No, it was 144. I remember that, because 24 of those Croagunk were just littered throughout the boxes elsewhere, because I forgot to, Yeah, because I forgot to, release them in time. You know what, I might as well just release these guys from the team, right? Right. But yeah, what's it called? It's called nothing. Yeah, this one I think took... What's that? Almost a stream and a half? No, I think it is a stream and a half. Because of, when I got that first Croagunk. And we'll see how long the next one takes. If we get it, I'll probably go back to Scarlet and Violet and crank a bunch of TM machine stuff. I'll have to check which balls I've got Croagunk in. I think the main balls I need at this point are Kurt's balls, the Safari ball Croagunk, obviously, but I want to do that in BDSP, which I'm going to have to re-download, and then all the Legends Arceus Pokeballs. Obviously not the... What's it called, ball? The one that looks like the Cherish ball. The Origin ball, there we go. That is the one ball... No, wait, the Cherish ball and the Origin ball are the only balls I can't get Shiny Croagunk in. Which is a mighty shame, honestly. But then again, in Scarlet and Violet, they would all... Like, it wouldn't matter. Because the Origin ball would just appear as the home ball. Which I think is a shame. I hope that, they add sprite data for the new balls into the next, like, main series game. So if you have a Pokemon in one of the Legends Arceus Pokeballs, it will be displayed in that ball in those games. To be fair, I'm guessing it might be because the balls in Legends Arceus work differently. So they'd actively have to code in different animations, maybe. Because the Legends Arceus Pokeballs have that, like, hook. That clip, that clasp. And obviously the little bit at the top that sets off fireworks. I wonder what kind of balls are going to be in Zeta A. It'll be interesting to see if they're the ancient Pokeballs from Legends Arceus, or if we get to see a newer variation of the Pokeball, more closer to modern day. But I guess we'll find out. Maybe we'll even see the person who creates the first modern day Pokeball base it off of Fungus. Maybe we'll meet the professor of Old Kalos. I wouldn't be surprised if they're just normal ones, as they have that Pokeball factory. That is true, that is true. But, I don't know, I've always assumed modern Pokeballs to be made of modern materials, right? So, I'd say that doesn't entirely discard the idea. Wait, what's my favorite ball? Shit. Great. It's a great ball. Great ball is my favorite ball. I think it's pretty cool. When I was younger, I made a point of capturing every legendary in a Great Ball. I remember the pain and hardship I went through trying to capture the Reggies in Great Balls. I don't think I paralyzed Pokemon to capture them at that time. I think I just fucking went in raw with the Reggies, trying to capture them in Great Balls. I've made smart decisions in my life. That wasn't one of them. And if they're making Lumios from the ground up, they'd possibly have modernish materials because of the tower, right? That is true. I guess we'll have to see. I don't know. That's the thing that annoys me, is like, we can speculate as much as we want on this game, but we just will not know until we get that first trailer. Now, the first Scarlet and Violet trailers were in June. I don't think we're going to get June trailers for Legends ZA, though. I think that we're going to get the first bits of information on Legends ZA in September. But to be fair, maybe it will be in June. Maybe it will be in June, and if it's in June, it'll be 1 week before the Nintendo Direct. That's my call. That's my bet. If we get new Pokemon Legends ZA information in June, it will be just before the Nintendo Direct. That's my call. Because obviously the Nintendo Direct in June is specifically because E3 isn't happening anymore. So they're doing their big presentations in summer still. We're going to hear a lot of, like, gaming companies' announcements in June, which is going to be... It's going to be interesting to see what Xbox could possibly reveal in considering the layoffs and basic entire dissolution of multiple companies working under them. And PlayStation have already pledged that there probably won't be any more big AAA games for a number of years. So it'd be weird for them to show those off. Man, the gaming industry is so fucking cooks. Like, I'm gonna be really interested to see what kind of shape the industry's in 2030. The Shadow Ball. Oh, that's fair. I don't know, I've not played the Colosseum games, so... Well, I mean, Xbox haven't shown anything for the whole Series X life cycle. Not fair enough at all, but okay. Interesting. How intriguing that they've done that. But yeah, I still think we'll get PlayStation, maybe Ubisoft, stuff like that. Being like, hey, look at the games we're making. Wow-wee! Wow-wee! And we're definitely getting Nintendo because they confirmed it. I don't think they confirmed a date, but I'm pretty sure E3 was in early June, right? So it'll be in, like, early June in the first few weeks. I was going to say if we get a Nintendo Direct. When we get the Nintendo Direct, does anybody have any particular hopes of what we'll get? Let's go realistic hopes. Let's maybe do realistic hopes in that book, actually. Because, like, I don't think we're going to get another Switch Zelda game. I'd be really surprised if we get a brand new Switch Zelda game. Maybe a remake? I could see a remake. I deleted my message when you said realistic. Wait, what were you gonna say? I kinda wanna know now. Oh, I know. It was gonna be Poker Park 3, wasn't it? Right. Mine? Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War Remake. Back when Engage was leaked in 2021, there was rumor that they were working on a Genealogy of the Holy War remake as well. And the Engage leak was real. So unless they decided to fuck with us, or it got cancelled and scrapped, there's a chance we could get a Genealogy of the Holy War remake. And I fucking hope we do. Starfield, Forza, Redfall. That's about all I got. And 2 of those were a good guess. One was awful and is dead. Starfield would be interesting on Switch, but yeah. Is that the dead one, or? Oh, 3 games on the Xbox Series X, I see. That makes more sense. Because Starfield is the awful and is dead one. I'm guessing. The only thing that's really been successful was Hi-Fi Rush, and that got shadow dropped one day, so like 3 million, 3 million, and now that company has said, it's such a fucking stupid ass series of decisions. Like, they aren't even trying. Like, you cannot convince me any executive in that office have more than 3 brain cells to rub together. They just have a secretary come into their office, present them with 3 options. One that makes the money go up, and, like, annoys everybody. A neutral option that makes their money stay the same, and everybody just stays neutral. Or a bad option, where their money goes down, but everybody's really happy. And there will be profits in the future because of that. And they're just like, now! We want money now! Money now, please! Money! Money! Give me money! Redfall's the dead one. Wasn't launched properly and the company's dead, so I can't fix it. Oh, I see, I see. That's a shame. A tale set over and over again, honestly. Yeah, no. Xbox is cooked. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say that much. I don't really have that much investment in Xbox. I got a 360 when I was like 12. But that was only really because all of my friends had an Xbox. Like, I barely played it unless friends were around. Right. But yeah, like... You know, I don't want a conversation about the state of the gaming industry at the moment. But, you know, I'd say new Fire Emblem game is like my biggest hope. For, the, brain fart? For the brain fart. Fire Emblem is my biggest hope for the Direct. I'm not really sure what else could be revealed. Maybe I could see like a Zelda remake, but other than that, I think like we're mostly going to be getting remakes in that Direct, is my bet. It'll be like mostly remakes and then a bunch of third-party stuff. any, like, actual, like, main Nintendo published stuff is going to be remakes, is my bet. Did you give up on the Terror Raid? I think I'm, Nuzlocke, I think I'm gonna go back to it. But, I just wanted a break. Like, I've got other ideas cooking that I want to do first. And I might as well stall, because the egg lock would be next. And I don't have enough eggs for that yet. I really want more Metroid, but us Metroid fans don't tend to eat well, so I'm not expecting much. That's fair, that's fair. Hopefully Prime 4 is the launch title for, the new console. But, I guess we'll have to find out. I think Super Birdo Bros peak. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 11, actually. Best game ever. Ice Tray, hello, how goes it? I hope you've been well. We're shiny hunting for Croagunk today. I'm trying to get a full box. And we actually got one shiny Croagunk earlier. Oh, I didn't refresh the counter. Okay, so 279 minus 264. I'm luckily my advanced counter is special, so I can just do that. And now we are on 50. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, it's 16. It's... We're on 16. Alright. I bet you need to rest off losing to Hassels, Draconian, and Might. Yeah, no, I got cooked on that fight, I'm gonna be honest. I was so hopeful for that Luminion suite. Sometimes, in a Nuzlocke, you use a Pokemon and they're great, and they're really good, and they're always really useful. And you kind of end the Nuzlocke thinking, wow, that Pokemon was so good. I now have a newfound respect for that Pokemon. Using Luminion has given me less respect for it. I thought it had a nice design. In fact, I still do. I like that one episode of the Diamond and Pearl anime when, like, loads of people get hypnotized by that Luminion in the cave. I thought that was funny. I liked that episode. After using it, after trying to make it work, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Luminion was not good. It was magically... Masquerain would have been... would have saved you, actually, if it was magically transformed into a better Pokemon in the box. I was gonna say, Masquerain versus, what's it called? Icicle Crash. I'm thinking about it, about that time we might get more F-Zero. I don't know, gut feeling, I guess. Hopefully, that would be cool. No, sorry, Limington sucks, and not even Terra makes it good. Yeah, no, seemingly. Learn from the mistakes you made? Yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to underestimate Miss Magius this time around. But, it's all going to come down to the luck of the draw is the issue. Of what Terra Pokemon we can get. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do... I'm not gonna continue on with Professor Layton. The copyright strikes annoyed me. But I think I will do another Pokemon game. On Wednesday. But it depends if I can get my plan working. And if I can, well, stay tuned, because I think it'll be a fun one. Oh, sorry, I missed your message, Stray. I'm working on a mono-electric run of Violet right now. It takes forever to get through the beginning cutscenes. I found that out the hard way on Wednesday. The DLC gives me access to more Peko. No idea how good or bad it is. I've never actually used it. It's got an interesting ability. I'm not sure how actually good it is, but still doing the D20. I think I might do a coin flip to see if I can ditch raids I don't want to do. But I don't know. I don't want to overcomplicate it too much. So I think it'll just be like I find a raid, see it. If I don't want to do it, I do a coin flip. If tails, I have to stay with the raid. If heads, I can choose another one. Right. Use a Croagunk and Scarlet and a new Melon Violet. Well, yeah, but this is like a Nuzlocke where I don't really get to choose my Pokemon at all because they're entirely random from the raids. So it'll be luck of the draw. I'll just have to hope for a good ground terror raid, like, I mean, Serena was kind of peak, to be fair. I feel like if I'd immediately pivoted into, maybe not Steenie. Steenie's, like, alright, but, like, a good grass type, I think would work as well, because it's not going to use Charge Beam on a grass type. It'll use Hex. So it needs to be a grass type with really good special defense. But, we'll get around to that when we get around to that. Again, I've got other things in the works first. So I highly recommend checking out Wednesday's stream. Even if it doesn't end up being what I'm planning anyway, you should check out Wednesday's stream anyway. There's not like a special announcement or anything. You should just check out Wednesday's stream, you know. Alright. Alright. You got to go, it's getting late, you've got some stuff to do, so goodbye and good luck. Sorry you can't stay longer. No worries, dude, no worries. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and have, well, and best of luck with the stuff you are doing. Maybe the reason I haven't got Minccino is because I've got all of these Croagunk under odds. Maybe that's the truth here. Maybe that's the dark truth of this situation. I can't get the Minccino, because all of these Croagunk have been under odds. Devastating. Alright. The Namel line is underrated. It's actually a huge piece in the late game. It could easily solo Bree, Poppy, and Elite Four Larry and Geeta. That's a fair point. It does have like a pretty good type for that. Its only issue is his water type attacks. But that's easy to plan for. No, it's because you haven't reached 5,095, that's all. Of course. I apologize, you're right. You're very right. Or we'll find out how right you are next week. On Monday next week, when I will do the next lap of that hunt. Alright. But yeah, no, I touched on this last stream, but Doctor Who, last episode, peak. Peak. Cannot stress enough. Like, this season so far has been solid, you know? Like, I've been thinking, it's pretty alright, you know? In the grand scheme of things. No spoilers? Okay, understandable, understandable. All I shall say was... This was the best episode in a fucking while. And, like, I'm not saying any of, like, the past few episodes have been bad, per se. Can't really speak to the Flux and the rest of Jodie's era, because I didn't watch it. But, what was it called? Of this new Russell T Davies era, it's been the best episode so far. And I thought Wild Blue Yonder was great. Wild Blue Yonder, really enjoyed that. Space Babies and Devil's Cord, I thought they were pretty solid. Like, their episodes, I didn't hate them as episodes, but, like, I wasn't, like, what was I looking for? They were good and solid episodes, but I felt like they were missing something. Boom had... It was it. It had the sauce. You know? Boom was great. Easily, like... Not just, like, a good episode for this era. Like, I'd say, like, easily, like, up there. With, like, a lot of other, like, banging episodes. Very close to you this week here. You were vacationing in Ireland. Ah, hell yeah. I hope you had fun. Can't believe you didn't watch Doctor Who while in Ireland, you know? It's like a... You're very close. You know? The frog hunt goes on. Indeed it does, Sir Froggius. Welcome to the stream. I hope your week's gotten off to a good start. We actually got a shiny frog just earlier. Which is very exciting, if I do say so myself. But yeah, no. I've seen, like, some people saying, like, they've not been sold on Chuti until Boom. I feel like Chuti, like... What was I looking for? Chuti is a fucking phenomenal actor. And has brought, like, a lot of charisma to the role. I think, like, if anything, the reason why he wouldn't be convincing people as a Doctor is probably because he's a very different type of Doctor. Like, especially since the revival, I can't really comment as much on, the original era, the original run of Doctor Who. But, like, the Doctor's been, like, a character of mystery, you know? Kept their cards very close to their chest a lot of the time. Like, when they tell their companions about who they are, it's like after a couple of adventures, they sit them down and explain it to them, rather than just tell them off the bat, like 15 has. But 15 has done that. Like, 15 very much wears his heart on his sleeve, you know? I think that's an interesting trait for a Doctor. I think we'll have to get to the end of the season for me to figure out how much I like it fundamentally as a trait for the Doctor. But at the least, I think Ncuti is... Again, a phenomenal actor. He's got great charisma. And he's got really good chemistry with Millie Gibson. And they alone would make the show worthwhile. You know? Like, I don't want to be harsh on Jodie. I felt like she had potential. I felt like she had potential, but it kind of never got realized, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people really love Jodie, and I'm not slaying people who do, but to me, I felt like she was... She just took a while to... I just felt like she never really made the role her own. I don't I just never really, like, found her with the role as, like, her own, if that makes sense. You just watched an awesome video. I wish I could send you a link. I mean, you can send the link in the Discord. I have a Discord and you can send it there. Just pop it in. I mean, general or memes, dependent on what kind of video it is. But yeah, like, to move on from Jodie bashing, so I don't really want to do that, but, what was it called? Even if the episodes, like, did have bad writing, I think they'd still be enjoyable, just because of, Nshuti's acting. His acting chops, his skill, and charisma, and the power of, like, holding the screen. Like, it's clear he knows who his doctor is. And I felt that was clear from the moment he bi-generated. Like, the moment the bi-generation occurred, he owned the screen. Like, loads of people are like, oh, David Tennant shouldn't have been there. He really overshadowed, overshadowed Nshuti. No, he didn't! No, he didn't! What are you doing? Did we watch the same episode? Nshuti was great! He was absolutely phenomenal on screen, like... Tennant was there. Tennant's still, like, a great doctor, but, like... The moment the bi-generation occurred, Nshuti stole that show. I was, like, immediately on board with him as a doctor, just because of that first scene. I thought it was fucking great. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series just because he's in it, you know? Like, I think I'll definitely have to stew on it a bit more. Get to the end of his first season, maybe even second, before I start considering, like where he places among my doctor ranking, but it's definitely high. I'm not sure if it'll be higher than Capaldi, but, like, Capaldi has the added benefit of being in that prime time of my life where like, the things you kind of experience during that period kind of become the de facto best. I will always be a Capaldi stan. And, I keep on meaning to rewatch his series, and I need to. Alright. But yeah, Doctor Who good, Boom fucking brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the next episode, because it looks like it's going to be a Ruby-centric one, which I think we're in dire need of. Like, I'm trying to think on, like, Doctor Who companions, where they kind of place in terms of agency. Like, I think a good Doctor Who companion needs to pretty early on, like, stake their reason for being there and competency in being there, if that makes sense. And I think that's done through, like, two really good ways of doing it. Like, challenging the Doctor Like, Bill had some really good scenes where she challenged the Doctor, like, on his morals and stuff, you know? And saving the day. Being the person to save the day. Like Amy in Beast Below. And I'm trying to think, like, Clara in Rings of Acton as well, with the leaf. That was another good one. But I think Companion... I'll always be a bigger fan of Doctor-centric episodes, because I like the Doctor as a character. Like, people always, like, reference, like, Blink and stuff as, like, oh, that's the best episode of Doctor Who. I've not seen it, to be fair. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I could ever like a Doctor-like episode in that way. Because I watch Doctor Who for the Doctor. You know? Like, the concept can be as good as it wants. But, like, I watch Doctor Who because I'm fascinated by the Doctor as a character. They've always kind of, like, entranced me as a character. But I think a good companion-centric story can be very good for, like, just the companion in general, you know? Like, Flatline, I think it is. That's a fucking golden episode. Because it's like a Clara-centric story, you know? Alright. I'm gonna go to the toilet quickly. But once I'm back, once I have returned, we will be continuing on with the hunt. So be sure to stay tuned, because I will be right back. And we are back again. Tell your wives, tell your friends. Okay. Me on my way to go off on my third autistic tangent of the stream. You know how it is. I know how it is. I've not got the calculator up. How am I supposed to increment How am I supposed to increment? Dismal. Anyway. Croagunk time. I'll be interested to see how the 7-star raids continue from this point. We've not got one announced for this week, which tells me there won't be one this week. Obviously, Primarina still did run over the last weekend, so there's a chance that next week will be the next one. What were the last couple? I guess I can check. Thumbnails. You know. Where are they? Raids. There we go. Right, so last one was Meganium. We've already had Decidueye. Wait, okay, so after his sway and Typhlosion, we went around to Blaziken. Then we had Empoleon. Then we had the redo of the starters. Of the no, we didn't have the redo. Then we had the 3 Kanto starters. Then we had Meganium. Then we had Primarina. So of the last 4, 2 have been water types. I could see us dipping back in for another fire type, to be fair. That or another grass type. I don't think we'll get water. What have we not had so far? I mean, most of them at this point, I think. Because we still need Infernape. Do we? Yeah. Did we do an... Yeah, we did do his Heatwave Typhlosion. Yeah, we did. I was expecting to get the Sinnoh starters among those, so we've not done the Sinnoh starters yet. Yeah, we've not done the Sinnoh starters yet. We've had Blaziken, Empoleon, Meganium, Primarina. Also, no, we have had 1 Sinnoh starter. So that's 2, 3, 4... It could be Emboar. Because we've already done Delphox. Gen 6 we're in the base game. I think it's going to be Emboar. I think Emboar's going to be next. And people are going to be like, does this mean we're getting Unova remakes, maybe? Perchance? Do you think maybe this means we're getting Unova remakes? Because Unova fans are on that, like, ever-present copium. I don't know, I saw a post the other day that was pointing out that, It was like a just general, like, my childhood good, new stuff bad post. Where it was saying how the Unova Elite Four rooms were, like, very intricately designed, but the Paldean Elite Four room was, like, a big box. Aljam can appear in that grass. Unova remakes announced in 5 minutes. Exactly, Felix. You're right. You figured it out. Nintendo hired me. They hired me. But because of my track record, they've cancelled the Unova remakes. They're not happening anymore. Sorry. But yeah, it was like a classic, like, my thing good, your thing bad, type beat. And people were pointing out that, like, what's it called? People were pointing out that, obviously, like, the vibes of the Unova Elite Four and the Paldean Elite Four are different. The Paldean Elite Four are, like, meant to be, like, a test. It's meant to be an assessment. That's why it's in that kind of, like, a blank boxy area, because it's an assessment. It's meant to give that suffocating, this is a test feeling, which it does well, I think. I think it does it very well. But people were being like, oh yeah, no, I get that's the reason, but that doesn't make it good. Does it? Is that? I don't know. Like, I'd rather they try something new and interesting rather than going for, like, the same thing over and over again. You know? And I feel like the Pokemon Leagues, since Gen 7, have been trying that. Arguably Gen 5, because obviously the Pokemon League in Gen 5 ended with N instead of an actual champion. But it went back to normal for Black and White 2 and X and Y. Like, they've been trying to do something different and unique with Pokemon Leagues since Gen 7. Like, I appreciate the fact that they were, like, kind of... I think an over-designed Elite Four groupage would have really taken away from the idea that this is a test, this is an assessment, you know? Like, I get the notion of, like, you not liking it, but does that make it bad? If that makes sense. I guess this is just, like, a general, like, kind of thing where people have an opinion, and they always seek to justify their opinion. Like, I think it's a very common thing where people, like, have an opinion, and being capable of separating the fact that, like, their opinion of something can be low, but that doesn't mean, like, that thing is necessarily bad. You know? Like, if you think it's, like, a boring room and wish they could have done better, I think that's fine, you know? But, like, the implication of the post was that clearly this is a bad thing that Pokemon Company are awful for doing, you know? This is like one of the biggest downgrades of all time. Name a bigger downgrade, you know? And, like, is that what's going on here, or do you just not like new thing? Like, I feel like those region-based accounts have been getting, like, worse and worse. Like, at first it was like, haha, that's a good meme about Cynthia being in the Undella house. Which they've stopped, by the way. I think that's an interesting thing. They always got, like, that backlash on the Cynthia in the Undella house. They've stopped doing that because everybody always yells at them for it, and I find that really funny. Like, they kept doing it for so long, but now they've realized every time they post a fucking Cynthia hides. Ooh, guys, laugh now, guys! Like, now they've realized, like, they get fucking lambasted for that shit, they've stopped doing it. I find it funny. But I don't think their meme quality's gotten better. And I think that's, like, the thing to note, is, like, they don't do the Cynthia shit anymore because they know, like, they're going to be getting ratioed by 17 different funny men of the day, dissing them for using the... dissing them for using the fucking stale-ass joke that they've used a million times. Their meme quality hasn't gotten better, though. Their memes are still shit. Like, I just find it interesting that Pokemon meme accounts have just gone so bad. Like, people were, like, kind of eating up VGC memes for a bit there. And, like, the reason why was because VGC memes had actual, like, effort and thought put behind them. Like, a lot of these big Pokemon meme accounts at this point have kind of just lost any humor and are just trying to engagement bait, basically. They've stopped making memes because memes are funny, because, like, they want to be funny. They've started making memes because they want to make sure their interactions stay up. And you can very much tell when an account pivots. I never got that, though. I never got that, though I just think sticking in random boss battles keeps you on your toes instead of knowing when they will happen. It's like the rival battles. Yeah, no, definitely. The issue with the meme was people were always acting like, oh, this is such a horrifying thing, you know? Like, there definitely was, like, the, oh shit, of walking into that house in Undella Town and, like, oh, it's Cynthia there, you know? The issue is like, Pokemon meme accounts kind of run the joke into the ground. It being like, guys, wasn't it so cool and scary when Cynthia was there? And then you had to battle her? And when you didn't, you could say no. She's like, do you want to battle me? And you're like, no. And you walk out. And that's the funniest thing to me, is you can just say no to her battling, to the battle. But they're always like, uh-oh, let me out of here, guys. Let me out of here, because it's Cynthia, because she's such a strong trainer, guys. And I think that's where, like, the issue came from, was, like, the fact that they just kind of took the cool Easter egg boss battle and ran it into the ground. They took the cool Easter egg boss battle and just turned it into a repetitive, boring, nothing joke. Like, I agree. I think the Cynthia fight in Undella Town is really cool. I agree that the rival battles being like yeah, no, I agree with like rival battles like being you don't know when they're gonna happen is like a really cool thing, you know. Which could be argued there's another reason why Cynthia's a bad Serena, very different characters here. I guess it could be argued that that's another reason Serena's a bad rival, because she kept on calling you and being like, hi, player, how about we have a battle here? Doesn't that sound cool if we had a battle here? Instead of just battling you, she'd always be like, how about we battle when we get to here? You know when they're going to happen. Like, I get the complaint of, like, oh, they heal you up before the battle. But, like, fundamentally, if you've got 2 brain cells to run together, you're probably healing yourself up before the battle anyway. I think it's a better, like, test of your skill and their skill if they don't just ambush you, right? And there have still been hard rival battles where they heal you and shit, you know? Like, I think one of the harder rival fights what I always remember is that fight with Hao when you just arrived to how was it called? Ula Ula. When you first arrive at Ula Island, Hao like immediately battles you the moment you step off the boat. And I think that's a really cool rival battle because it's like a sudden fight. You're not really expecting it. You've just been through in the Heligo. And I always remember that being a pretty tough fight. I think it's a pretty big level jump for the game as well. I think it's a pretty cool moment. And yeah, I could see a notion that maybe like Nemona ends up being a bit of a weaker rival because you're always just about to fight a gym leader whenever you fight her. Or maybe you've just fought a gym leader. She's a cool character. I'm just talking about like her as her functionally as a rival, if that makes sense. Like, I'll be interested to see how open world Pokemon games go forward with rival battles. I guess it depends if we keep open world or not. But yeah, no, like also like a thing I find funny about Cynthia is how many generations she appeared in a row. Cynthia Pokemon, yeah? She appeared in Generation 4. Obviously, she was the champion of that generation. She appeared in Generation 5 in Undella Town, and then obviously in Undella Town before the Pokemon World Tournament. Like, she was already there. She doesn't have an appearance in Gen 6. There's no Cynthia in Gen 6. Gen 6 is Cynthia 6. Gen 7 isn't. She's in the Battle Tree. Cynthia fights you in the Battle Tree in Gen 7. And then in Gen 8, we got the Diamond and Pearl remakes. So, from Gens 4 to 8, the only game she didn't appear in the only generation she didn't appear in was 6, 4, 5, 7, 8. And I find that funny. Like, people always, like, kind of big up Cynthia. And it's clear the Pokemon Company think Cynthia's one of their better champions as well. Because of how they reuse her so much. Like, when they want to call back to Sinnoh, they put Cynthia in there, you know? She is the... Well, she had a banging... She did. Cynthia had presence, to be fair. Like, Cynthia is a very good champion. I'd say probably one of the series' best. Give me a moment. I'm gonna take a drink. She has presence from the get-go. And hell, in Platinum, like, after just meeting you, she gives you a Pokemon. That's kind. That's cool. I like that. She has a passive role in advancing the plot, giving you the secret potion and telling you to go to Celestic Town. Until she has a major role in advancing the plot when she goes into the distortion world with you in Platinum. Obviously, she has like casual appearances throughout the game before you fight her as the champion. Did she ever mention that she's the champion? I forget. She also has like a very commanding presence in the anime as well. She never outright, like, disrespects Paul, but, like, she creates a very, like, interesting counter to his ideology, if that makes sense. I'll say possibly one of the best champions for you. Blue will always hold up the top tiers, because he's always one step ahead of you. That's fair, that's fair. I don't know, like, not growing up with... Red and Blue obviously like gives me a very different opinion of Blue. Like, I kind of get it, but just because, like, Kanto isn't a region I've had that much experience with, I've never understood the hype myself. Not that the hype isn't there. I just not understood it. I think Alder's an interesting champion. He doesn't really kind of hold, like, the mysterious presence like a character like Cynthia does. And I think that's, like, Cynthia's benefit. Is, like, she very much carries that mysterious presence, you know? Like, Steven is a character... I don't know, I'd say he doesn't carry mystery. He carries an energy, like, into the game as well. I think he's a pretty cool champion as well, to be clear. I'm saying I like Steven. I'm not sure it's really, like, a man of mystery he is, but he's more of, like, a guide. He's more of, like, a mentorish character, especially in Auras, which is like the Hoenn I remember best, where like he appears at points to like give you the Mega Stone and give you the Mega Ring and your starter's Mega Stone and stuff. Like, I wouldn't say Steven like has that kind of air of mystery, but I think he's still pretty cool. Alder, I don't think has that. You can kind of tell Alder's washed up. Like, I think that's like a blunt truth about Alder, is he's washed up. And that's why he loses to N. Like, he was never going to beat N, because I think he was always going to lose his title as champion at some point, you know? I don't think Iris has much presence in Black and White 2. I think she's a cool champion, just because, like, she kind of takes that Lance role of... She takes that Lance role of following up, of being a regular character and trainer. No. She's the 8th gym leader in Pokemon White version. She's not the 8th gym leader in Pokemon Black version, which I think is maybe a mark against her. But, it makes it very cool, like, when you get to the champion and it's like, oh, it's Iris. Iris is the champion now. That's, like, a really cool, like, oh, shit, this is happening now, you know? Like, especially since Iris has, like, another 2 benefits of being the champion in Black and White 2 that Lance doesn't have in Johto. Obviously, Rob can tell us the experience of that one guy from the Elite Four being the champion now. But I feel like Iris ends up having, like, a better kind of run-up into being the champion, because A, she has more presence in Black and White. She, appears in Castelia, and she helps you with, what's it called? Helps you when Bianca loses a Pokemon. Then, later on, obviously, she helps, what's it called? Helps all the other gym leaders fight off the 7 Sages, which is, like, another cool little bit. But mostly, she's in the anime. She's, like, that generation's new companion. Obviously, Silent was another new companion in that generation, but Lance Champion was underwhelming. The true champion of that game is Fighting Red. That's fair, that's fair. And yeah, it kind of is. It is funny how, like, I don't know, it's interesting because you could argue Lance feels like a step down as the champion of going from Blue to one of the Elite Four members. I thought there'd be a battle after it and got blue balled. No! I think Iris is a much better execution of trainer from the last game. Notable trainer from the last game is now the champion. I'm interested to see what you think of Iris as the champion, Rob. Personally, I think she's a better, like, a done thing of that. Like, obviously, Lance to me was always, like, the champion in that kind of way, you know? Like, because Heart Gold Soul Silver was my second Pokemon game. So I kind of always saw Lance through the lens of him being the champion. I always thought it was P cool. Because, like, he had his Dragonite. Yeah, that was awesome, you know? But, like, obviously I didn't have that prior experience of Kanto. But, I think Iris has done better just because it kind of... it's a bigger step up. It's from gym leader to champion. Clearly she's done something. Never been a fan of that happening, to be honest. Didn't like it in Gen 2 or 3 when Wallace did it in Emerald or 5. Ah, interesting. I forgot about Wallace, to be fair, but yeah, that's a good point. I was acting like Iris was like a pioneer. She was not. She was, just not in those ways. I don't know, I think Iris definitely, like, kind of... Iris is, like, a pretty damn good team. Black and White 2 was very much... Black and White 2 felt like a game that they knew, like, less casual fans would pick up, if that makes sense. So they, like, deliberately made it harder. Not hard. You know? We're not talking, like, Black and White 2 is, like, a genuinely tough game. But I think it's a harder Pokemon game. And I feel like Iris is, like, a pretty solid team as well. I'd have preferred, like, a new person. I was half expecting N in Black and White 2. That's fair, that's fair. Maybe that would have been a good time to break out Benga. N would have been an interesting champion to have in Black and White 2, to be fair. Because his ace could be the legendary, which would have been another legendary fight. So I just got to Iris and went, aw, although banging theme. She does. Her theme is fucking brilliant. I guess that's definitely the issue with, like, changing up the champion from, like, one game to another, though. Is, like, what are people expecting? You know? Like, I feel like Rob has raised a couple of good examples here of, number one, expecting someone after Lance, because Lance wasn't the final boss the first time around. And there was someone after Lance. It was Kanto and then Red, but... And then expecting, like, not just the gym leader from the last game as much as, like, someone new. I think Sharon would have been a pretty cool champion to have, to be fair. But obviously they wanted him to be the first gym leader instead, so you can get that. I know that guy off the bat. Though I think the most hype I think I was actually Gen 7 Kukui. Dude, it was. I'm gonna be real, it was. So did you think How was a downgrade then, or were you happy about the twist, that it wasn't just Kukui again? Like... It's fun because there's very much that, like, in Sun and Moon, there's very much that mystery. Who's going to be the champion this time around, you know? Like, it's the Elite Four, you're not just going to become the champion, surely. Right? Surely, but who's the champion? Who's going to be the champion? Oh shit, I've overshot. Well, let me do some releasing quickly. Alright. I was happy with the twist, but How's a downgrade? That's fair. I'm trying to remember the teams in comparison. Because, like, obviously Kukui used the starter that beats yours in that fight, which I think is pretty cool. Like, that's like an element of Leon I like as well, is that he uses the starter that beats your starter. It's not his ace, that is Charizard, but he uses the starter that beats he uses, the starter that's left over, which is the starter that beats yours. I think that's like a cool little trait. Like, I think it's a cooler resolution of How's arc. And your rivalry, to be honest. Like, and it kind of hits home the idea, that you've become... What was I looking for? Obviously, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and, like, by extension, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, are a celebration of the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. And I think it's cool to have you and your rival reversed in position. In Pokemon Red and Blue, you got to the Elite Four, you got through the Elite Four, and you were told there's one last battle you have to fight before you can become the champion. It's your rival. He got there first. This time, you go through the Elite Four, and you get to the end, and the empty throne is there to take, and Kukui comes up to you, and he's like, there's one more fight you have to do before you can take up the mantle of champion. And it's your rival, but instead you're the one who got there first. You're the one who beat your rival to the punch. Which very much does kind of, arguably put How in, like, a lower position to you in terms of strength. But I think it's a cool, like, shift. I think it's a cool, like, acknowledgement. You've come so far. Kind of beat, you know? I do agree the Kukui fight was hyped, though, because you just weren't expecting him. Like, Kukui is a throwback. Like, fighting Kukui as the champion is a throwback of his own, because people were always discussing, like, that kind of era was, like, peak Pokemon theory era. Peak Pokemon theorizing era. Like, these days, all, like, conversations about Pokemon is how the franchise is worse these days. Back then, it was all about the theorizing. It was about what's, like, happening. What are these Mega Evolutions? What do they mean? How do these games connect? What's beyond the train station? What's the secret power plant? all that stuff, you know? Like, this was the era of Pokemon theorizing. And one theory I remember seeing quite a lot was who was the champion before your rival? Who was the champion before Gary, before Blue, before Green? Who was the champion first? And Oak was, like, a big one. Why was it Oak? Well, Oak has a whole team coded into the game. People theorized, oh, maybe like you were going to fight Oak if you completed the Pokedex. Like you complete the Pokedex, you go up to Oak and he's like, oh, one last thing, my boy. I'm going to kick the shit out of you with my team. You know? And I'd say it's not too far-fetched to believe the Pokemon Company knew and understood that, and that's why Kukui's the champion. Well, not the champion, the final fight before you take the throne in Sun and Moon. Because, like, yeah, it's throwback. Kukui had, like, Starter, Braviary, Ninetales, Lycanroc, Snorlax, and Magnezone. I remember his Braviary. I don't remember his Ninetales. I might check, because I kind of want to compare his team to the Oak team as well. Because Snorlax was an Oak's team as well, right? Alright, Pokemon Kukui. Alright. Wait, why is, what's this called, Royale here? He's not... Why is the Royal on Kukui's page? That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Royal be on Kukui's page? Can anybody tell me why the Royal might be on Kukui's character page on Bulbapedia? That seems like a mistake. Google has been really messed up recently. It has. And this is just another instance. Okay. You were exactly right, Rob? Sorry, I was looking at Lycanroc as I said that. He leads with Lycanroc. Sounds familiar, actually. Oh my god, is Kukui Nemona's father? Ooh. Yeah, he has Lycanroc, Ninetales, Braviary, Magnezone, Snorlax, and Incineroar. That's interesting. He's only got 3 new Pokemon on his team. Gita might as well, actually. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that first. I know, like, Diantha only has 1 non-Kalos Pokemon. I think? 1, 2... Yeah, Gita only has 2. Gita uses Chestnut in the League Club, which is funny. Like, Gita's own... Oh, wait, Avalog, I'm so stupid. It's 3. Gita has... No. Yeah, no, 2 is 2. I'm being silly. In her League Club fight, she, has a Dragapult instead of Veluza. Probably a good switch, honestly. Honestly, can't remember any of House Team. I think he had a Crabominable. Well, he has Crabominable, the starter that beats yours, Alolan Raichu. I just remember Hal's Fearow in a randomizer I did, which was his ace. I should have chosen Fearow, so he could have had the Mega Kangaskhan. Right. Champion Battle. Hal has Alolan Raichu, Flareon, Tauros, Noivern, Crabominable, and Primarina. That is still only 3 Alolan Pokemon. To be fair, Alola has, like, a Pokedex of, like, 70, doesn't it? New Pokemon, that is. But yeah, how does have a Crabominable. Oh yeah, no, I remember the Tauros. I thought the Tauros was always cool, because like that was probably one of Harla's, arguably. Crabominable's also nice because it is a reference to Harla, technically, because obviously Harla was a fighting-type trainer. Anyway. Pokemon Professor Oak fight. Alright. Oak only has a team of 5, it looks like. Where he has Tauros, Executor, Arcanine, Blastoise, and Gyarados. Or Venusaur, or Charizard. I thought he had a Snorlax, but I guess not. But yeah, no, Oak does not have a Snorlax, which is interesting. He has a Tauros, though, which means how is the reference? But yeah, you're exactly wrong, Cuckoo's team. I'm gonna check Diantha's, because I want to remember if she's got any non-Kalos Pokemon other than Gardevoir. No, she doesn't. Diantha uses Hawlucha, Tyrantrum, Aurorus, Gourgeist, Goodra, and Gardevoir. I like it when champions actually use the pseudo of their gen. I think that's always like a cool thing. It makes them feel stronger. Like, even it doesn't have to be their ace, it just has to be on the team, you know? Like, obviously, like, Steven's ace is Metagross. Is his Metagross. In fact, a few gens in a row had champions with, pseudos for their aces. Where... What was it called? Yeah, Lance had Dragonite, which wasn't his gen's ace, but was still a pseudo. He had 3 Dragonite technically. Then Steven Stone had Metagross. Wallace had Mollusic, but let's ignore that. So who's the worst champion, Diantha or Geeta? I'm gonna still go with Geeta, honestly. In terms of team, like, Diantha's team still has Source. I don't mean to slight Geeta's team. Her team doesn't have the Source. If, like, Kingambit and Glimmora were still there, but there were some, like, cooler Pokemon to back them up, I think her team would have Source. But, like, Veluza, Avalugg, and Go-Go, Esperathra, I can tolerate Esperathra. Esperathra still could have been there. That could have still been the lead. I think Esperathra still kind of has the Source. But, like, that combo of Go-Go, Avalugg, and Veluza, that just kind of ruins her credibility, you know, as a champion. And I really think the ace must come out last really hurts her as a champion. I can agree with that. Diantha could very much... I don't think so. I do not think so at all. She's got both Fossils, which goes hard. She's got Hawlucha, which goes hard. She's got Gourgeist, which is pretty solid. And she's got Goodra and then Mega Gardevoir. Like, Diantha's team has Source. You can dislike Diantha, I won't slate that. But her team has Source. It's also like a non-stop, like, hard-hitting moves, which is interesting. Except for Aurorus, which does Reflect on Light Screen. Like, I think one of Diantha's bigger issues is the experience share in XY. To put it bluntly. I think XY's experience share is probably the least balanced iteration of the experience share. Like, I think Diantha's team is solid. I think her reputation as the worst champion is probably because X and Y is kinda dookie in terms of difficulty. Ignore the fact I've lost multiple Nuzlockes in XY. I just put Talonflame in the box again. What's Alder's team again? Remind me. He leads with a Selgor. Why does Alder have 3 bug types on his team? What's up with that? Yeah, her team is better, I can agree, but she's still a really shit champion. To be fair, her whole Elite Four, I can never remember them. I always remember, Seabold. I think, yeah, no, I remember Wilkstrom's Probo Pass because he stalls it with, full restores. He's a bug specialist. Buffalant Terror, you just can't see it. Wouldn't his Terror be Volcarona? The dragon type he uses is Drodagon. Vanillish goes hard. I don't know, I like the idea of like a supermodel champion. I just feel like XY's writing could be a bit better. I think it's also important to note that you are a hater of XY. So I'm sure that dates your opinion. What other champion teams? Oh my god. Let's look at Leon's again. Leon's team, I think, is another one that goes kind of hard. But, actively fought. Oh, no, yeah. Leon's team does have Source, doesn't it? It even changes. Like, properly changes. I respect Volcarona. I don't respect a Selgor and, Escavalier there as well. Yeah, Leon's team changes depending on your starts, which I think is cool as well. He leads with Aegislash. Fucking gold. That's like a really good lead. You cannot change my mind on that. Aegislash is kind of like a gold lead. He has Dragapult and Haxorus, which are both like kind of devastating dragon types. He has either Seismitoad, Mr. Rime, or Rhyperior. I did not realize he had Rhyperior if you choose Sobble. I guess that's probably because I don't think I've ever fucking chosen Sobble as my starter. Sobble's cool. I don't like Inteleon. Like, Sobble as a starter is pretty cool. Sobble has Source. But Inteleon just doesn't. But yeah, Leon's got a cool team. I think Leon's credibility is damaged by Leon's credibility is damaged by Sword and Shield subpar writing. It's the unbeatable champion Leon and his Charizard. He is bad with directions. Like, Leon's a cool character. I'm gonna be blunt. Leon's a cool character. I like the idea of having this, like, kind of sponsorship sports star-esque champion, you know? I think Gala has a lot of sauce with its gym concept. I just think they kind of fall flat in execution on it. And I think the other issue with Leon is, his entire failure to capture Eternatus. Like, if they'd just done the classic plot of, like, the kid saves the day, I think it would have been fine. Like, technically, you don't beat Eternatus. Zacian and Zamazenta do. Diantha and Geeta are actually excellent champions, because I think they're cool and that's enough. Valid, honestly. I don't know. I like Diantha. I'm not sure I'd rank her on the higher end of champions, but she's alright. Geeta... It's the Go-Go. It's the Go-Go. I'm gonna be blunt. It's the Go-Go. But yeah, Leon's other issue, yeah, it's Eternatus. Although you don't beat Eternatus, you see Leon get his ass fucked. Let's not go with that analogy. Leon gets, like, eviscerated by Eternatus, you know? Like, he throws that one ball and, like, it's over for him. It breaks out, he can't catch it. And then you go to beat Eternatus. If something else had happened, if Leon fought Chairman Rose and was like, you guys go stop Eternatus or some shit like that, I think it would have been fine, you know? But Leon loses to Eternatus, which means he's immediately, like, worse in your mind because you just beat the thing that he couldn't. Like, I get it. You were always going to beat Leon. You were always going to be the end of the road for Leon. But, like, watching Eternatus beat him, it's over for him in your mind. And then also the fact that you go into, like, the champion fight fully healed. Champion fights work best if you have to work up to them. Through the Elite Four. What is Nemona's team? That's the other team I meant to check. I put Talonflame away again. I'm so intelligent. I'm so smart and intelligent, I promise. Okay. What's Nemona got? What's your champion team? Oh, that's the Gates Academy tournament. This is... No, that's Area 0 multi-battle. This is the 6th battle in Mesagoza. Does Nemona's team change? It does not. Nemona has an Orthworm. Crazy. Yeah, Nemona's got Goodra, which is pretty cool. Oh, she's got Lycanroc, Goodra, Dunsparce, Orthworm, Hormort, and Quaquaval. It's a shame she doesn't use her Taurus in that fight. Is she in, like, Academy Ace? No. Surprising. Yeah, Nemona seems, like, pretty solid. Penny's team's always going to be the memorable one from Scarlet and Violet, though, because of all the EVs. Along with Sada and Turo, I think, is such a good fight, just because, like, the fight with AI Sada and Chiro, I think, is, like, one of the better final bosses in a Pokemon game, because it has one element on its side, that, like, is going to be nigh on impossible to replicate ever again. You know fuck all about the Pokemon they're using. Like, they're using a bunch of Pokemon from the past or future. You do not know their types. You know, like, a couple of their types from the ones you've already seen. But from the ones you've already seen, you already know. God knows what these guys' types are going to be. You don't fucking know. You have no fucking idea. Like, and that's why it's a cool fight, because you just do not know what they're going to throw out at you. Also, like, just the menace. The sheer source at the beginning of that fight, when they hold out their hand and a Master Ball plops into it. Like, I'm going to be blunt. I think that's a little bit, like... You know what? No, it isn't. I was going to be like, oh, I think only people more experienced in the franchise are going to understand how a Master Ball is a big threat. Like, yes, that is true. I think, like, little Timmy playing his first Pokemon game might not understand, like, the true threat of, like, a Master Ball plopping into that guy's hand. But he's going to understand, like, the threat and the source of everything else going on there. Like, Sada and Chiro have that element of pure menace. I think it would be interesting to see another evil protagonist just because of how they did the Scarlet Violet cutscenes. Not evil protagonist, evil, like, properly evil antagonist, you know? I don't mean, like, an AI who's right, and you end up fighting, basically, like, the echoes of a misguided professor. I don't mean... I forgot about Volo. Who has the source? I think more evil protagonists would be cool just to, like, see how... Not protagonists, antagonists! Ah! Like, I think Pokemon's gone very Disney with, like, how all of its antagonists have to be, like, twists. I think it's very much this, like, kind of modern idea that... Like, it's very much a modern idea where things are, like, a lot more morally grey, I feel like, these days, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it's an interesting thing to note. Like... I know people were trying to argue that, like, Lord of the Rings isn't just black and white. Over that, like, old thing good, you think bad post. trying to compare Jolkin Rolkin Tolkien to George Martin. And like calling George R.R. Martin like an imbecile of a writer and Tolkien a god, because like two fucking can have a reasonable opinion on anything that isn't like the mad extremes. But like Lord of the Rings is like a good versus evil story. But I think that this kind of shift is like very much like societal shift. I think it's interesting. But like you have to wonder what kind of character Darth Vader would be today. Because Darth Vader is like a morally complex character. Like he fundamentally is. Especially like with the context of Anakin from like the prequels. Like Darth Vader fundamentally isn't entirely a black and white character. Like isn't just a black and white character. And he does have his redemption at the end. But you'd have to wonder if like a modern Star Wars movie would like try to forgive him more. If that makes sense. Maybe like I wonder if his betrayal might have like come sooner. His betrayal of the Emperor might have come sooner. For a more grand final fight, if that makes sense. I'm talking about like Vader redemptions. Kylo's right there. Kylo is right. Kylo is exactly in broad strokes the way they would have written Vader. I can almost guarantee it. Kylo would have gone so much harder if he kind of like almost became good and then went bad. Like everyone was talking about like, oh, Evil Rey would be so cool. We should have Evil Rey. I don't think we need Evil Rey. I don't think Evil Rey was necessary. I was never really on board with like the Evil Rey ideas that people were parroting around. I did not think she needed like a proper fall to the dark side. She never really seemed like a character who was going to have one to me. Kylo shouldn't have been redeemed. I think they really wussed out in that final movie there from making Kylo like the big bad of that movie. I really think they should have committed to like what Rian Johnson had done, like with the narrative, but instead they backtracked on it because fans didn't like it. It'll be really interesting to see what people think of the sequel trilogy in like 5 years, honestly. Not even in that long. Like, I think we're close to it, you know? Because, like, think about when the prequel started to gain, like, actual respect, you know? Like, it started with, like, prequel memes. Like, it started with, like, memes about the prequels. And then, like, it actually became, like, people being like, yeah, the prequels are pretty goated, actually. Revenge of the Sith is a really good movie, you know? I wonder when we're going to get that for the sequel trilogy. Because that's going to come. That's going to happen. People are calling the Amazing Spider-Man movies good. Those were fucking despised when they came out. Those were fucking despised when they came out. People are going to start bigging up the Star Wars sequels eventually. It's going to happen. But I'm interested to see, like, Attack of the Clones is like ignored, I feel like, in Star Wars discussion. And I wonder if that's because it's the middle one. If it's because it's the middle one, or if it's because it's like the worst. Like when people start discussing Star Wars like the sequel trilogy being good, are they gonna like just focus on The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi? Like, is The Rise of Skywalker gonna factor into that conversation, or is it just going to be Or is it going to, like, are we going to see people being like, yeah, I thought The Rise of Skywalker was pretty good. And then, like, analysing its morals and stuff. Hours-long video essays about how Rise of Skywalker is misunderstood. I'm sure that's a phrase that would send shivers down the spines of some sweaty nerds. That Acolyte show seems pretty cool. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like. It's not too long till it starts, because June isn't too far away, but I don't like that. Not a fan of June being so close. What's up with that? What's up with June? Being like 11 days away, huh? May just started. May just fucking started. We can't be here. Can't be here. Oh wow, it's 18 minutes past. I'm gonna get to 100 encounters, I think. And then I'm going to do Pokedoku for the day. For the Poke Day. Alright. Now then. Alright. I'll get another thought out eventually, it's fine. I'll start another long-winded ramble. I can do it. I've got it in me. Ugh. I just need to take a drink first. That's it. Alright. Do we know when the next Knives Out film's coming out? Or you'll be interested to see when. Because, like, that's one of the few new franchises. I'm now realizing it kind of looks like the ADHD segue was because I was talking about a Rian Johnson movie earlier. That wasn't it. I was thinking about, a thing, my friend was saying to me yesterday after Planet of the Apes. Well, like, he was saying how, like, everything's a sequel nowadays. Like, every movie trailer we saw was, like, a sequel to something. And, like, a sequel to Knives Out is still a sequel, but Knives Out is, like, one of the few new franchises that's kind of, like, emerged over the last decade or so. Not a decade or so. Over the past few years, it's, like, one of the new, like, franchises. Like, that and Dune. But, I don't know, it's interesting to see movies like The Fall Guy and If fail. I've seen some people pointing out that, like, cinemas are just too expensive at this point, too much of, like, a luxury to kind of go out of your way to go to unless it's something big that you really want to see. Which I feel like is another interesting point of, like, streaming services fucking the movie industry. Like, what's it called? Because, yeah, like, if Fall Guy seems like a really good DVD, if that makes sense. Like, Fall Guy does not seem like a movie you would give a shit about in the cinema, you know? You wouldn't go see it in the cinema. You'd get it on DVD. You would, wait a few months until it releases on DVD, and, like, you'd get it then. And that would be like when you watch Fall Guy. It seems like a small screen movie, but it seems like a small screen, like, but small screen movies don't work anymore because DVDs aren't a thing anymore. Like, I think I just want streaming services to evaporate. That's like the blunt truth. Because if streaming services went, then we could be back to, like, you know, a world where a movie didn't need to succeed in the cinema. Which is why, like, every movie is, like, some kind of franchise. Shit. It's annoying. Anyway. Final encounter of the day. We still got a Shiny Croagunk today, though, which is pretty hype. I am not going to sneeze at the fact that we got a Shiny already. I think that getting a Shiny is pretty hype. Emo Kermit. Alright. Let me just close down my tabs that I opened settings today on my Pokedoku. Alright, let me just save again so I can actually turn the switch off. And then I will pull up all the necessary bits and bobs for today's Pokedoku. That's not the thing I meant to open. It's interesting because Buzzwole's Ultra Jungle is Buzzwole's Ultra Jungle kind of has people going like, huh, Gio, you know? And those are sound bites used in Mustard's theme in the Sword and Shield expansion pass. And I really wonder if, like, those are new sound bites or if those were just reused sound bites from the Ultra Jungle, or if the Ultra Jungle was made with sound bites already, like, intended for Mustard's theme. Sorry I was having a wash, no worries, I hope you are clean now. The classic. Okay. Pokedoku. We got Fire Normal and Sinnoh, and we've got Item, Evolved by Item, Fighting, and Dual Type. Ogerpon always does really well in Dual Type. I'm gonna put Ogerpon. Ogerpon did really well in Dual Type. Alright. Dual Type from Sinnoh is Croagunk. Croagunk's also a Sinnoh Dual Type. I should have put Croagunk here and Stunky here. Because I was thinking of putting Stunky here. Yahoo!
Mr. Basculin will take your Dokus and make you Doki excited. Pop Nemo believe in Basculin.
Real. Okay, and then dual normal type. Ursaluna and Blood Moon Ursaluna count. So does, like, Braviary, though. I wonder if Braviary is a shout, because this is Braviary. Because Ursaluna is a normal type evolved by item. I'm gonna put Braviary. I'm feeling good about Braviary today. You know what? I'm gonna put Rufflet. Because I feel like pre-evolutions are generally less appreciated. 0.4! Okay. Uh-oh, fighting normal, I'm now remembering. Oh, right, yeah, it's Lopunny, never mind. Oh, I know I'm gonna put in Sinnoh Fighting. I know who I'm gonna put in Sinnoh Fighting. It's Mega Gallade. And then here I can do 22%. Yeah, but there aren't that many normal fighting types, right? I can't remember the other ones. Firefighting. Well, we have Infernape, Pignite, Emboar, Monferno, Combusken, Blaziken, Mega Blaziken. There are probably more firefightings than just all those, right? Maybe. Not that I can think of. Okay. I'm gonna put Ursaluna here. Notoriously in a Blood Moon, that doesn't evolve. Whoa, 8.9. I should have put Heliolisk. Sinnoh Pokemon evolved by item. Gallade, technically. But will people think of Gallade? They might. They might. They might. I think I'm going to put Big Knight here. Hey, 11.4. Oh. Fire types fought by item. Obviously Scovillain. Hisui Arcanine. Yeah, Scovillain, Hisui Arcanine. Sibisir. Not sure, I might have missed one there. I might put Hisui Arcanine. I don't think Center Scorch or Carkol Magmortar counts, but I'm going to put Chandelure. 4.4, that might be a bit high. And then Sinnoh, Pokemon evolved by item. Okay, Gallade, Togekiss, Roserade. I want to put Roserade. 9.3, I shouldn't have put Roserade. Probopass is the least common. Roserade was the second most common. If I'd put anything else, I would have done better. Probopass, of course, I forgot about Probopass. Bye, goodbye, Felix. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Chandelure is pretty low. Tauros Blaze Breed was the lowest dual-type flyer. Squawkabilly was lowest, but Rufflet was just as low. Rotom Mow was the lowest dual-type from Sinnoh. Croagunk was pretty low as well. Mega Lopunny was the lowest here. Mega Gallade was a bit higher. Not that much higher, though. Croagunk was higher than Gallade, so... Melota Pirouette was the lowest. Of course, I forgot about Stuffle. Bevo was the highest, though, so that's good. Combustion was the lowest there. Well, Tauros Blaze Breed. That's the only other firefighting, which is kind of fucked. But yeah, I think I'm going to end off there. So thank you all for coming. I hope you all had great times. I certainly have. This Wednesday, I'll be back with a brand new series, so do be sure to stay tuned for that. That'll be a very cool, very interesting new series that you should definitely check out. But yeah, I hope you all had a great time. Glad I got that shiny Croagunk. Hopefully we can get a few more soon. I hope you all had a great rest of your days, great rest of your weeks. Goodbye and good night.